Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Beauty on a Budget. My name is Heather and today is Monday, February 24th of 2025. So I'm standing in my living room because I've got those shelves that I'm gonna get my husband to put up in the next couple of days. But I know where I want them to go, so I'm just gonna make the marks on the wall. Well, I guess I'm not making marks. I'm gonna use the painter's tape to get everything lined up, and then my husband can just drill the holes and hang the shelves up. Now we've got bought me 4 sets of these floating shelves, and each set comes with 3 different sizes. We found these at Superstore. They were $25 each. I don't know, 24 or something. I forget the exact price. 23 something, 24 something. I don't know. Anyway, so about $25 for the set of 3. And so I decided kind of where I want to have them. So I'm going to have one in my living room, kind of over by the window, between the window and the wall. I'd like one set there. And then in the kitchen, above the kitchen table, there's a big space. So we're going to do 2 sets there. And then there's a big space in the front entrance. And I'd like 1 set in there. And then on this big wall, our TV takes up about a good third of the wall. So I've got, it's kind of spaced out. We have this nice large clock that we've had for a lot of years. So I'd like to get this hung up. I want this to hang up above my computer. And then on the other side of the TV, we have this shelf. And my husband got it, in the as-is clearance section at Winners, and we got it for $20. It's got some chips on it. It does need some touch up. It's got, I don't know how well I can get right there. It's got a big chip missing there, and there are some other chips on the shelves too that need to be done. And same with the other shelves. They're just white. I don't know if I want to paint them or not, or do anything to change the color. So I told my husband, for now, I just want the shelves just hung up. And then once they're hung up, I can decide if I want to paint them any accent colors, just to give, depending on which room they're in, because this room here has got this nice, it's a creamy yellow. And then in my kitchen is a really white, and even the front entrance is another, it's got that creamy yellow undertones. So we'll just see how the white goes against it, and with everything else in the room, how I'd like to style them. Even with the clock, I can even paint that too if I think if the brown is just too dark, but I think it'll tie in everything. Same with that shelf. It needs some repairs, but just getting them hung up, and then I can figure out what colors I want to do them. So but I'm not going to do the clock, because I told my husband I got to do that 3-tiered shelf on the one side of the TV, and then I want the clock evenly centered, the center of the clock to be with the center of the shelf, and that I can't do by myself. That clock is too heavy for me to try to hold and figure it out by myself. So my husband will do the clock. So I'm going to start with that 3-tiered shelf. So I want it over this wall here, kind of between the TV. I don't know if my tripod's going to sit here nicely. Just get a blank wall. You can't even see what's happening. But so I just got to grab the step stool. I had it. There it is. I had to move the cat's beds. I may have to move the scratching post as well. I'm just I gotta move a few things. Yeah, so on this wall here, between where the TV is to this wall, I want to have this 3-tiered shelf lined up. But just over here on this wall, if I can get I've got this shelf that my husband had built me. Maybe I'll just do it. That might work. So when I hang this up, make sure I get this is the top. So when I get the shelf on this wall here, I want this top shelf to be lined with this shelf over here. So I think this shelf will probably go about here. I don't know, I've got to do some measurements. Where did I set that? Okay. Now to help me with this, to get this lined up, I am going to drop this shelf and I'm going to break stuff. I've got this large yardstick, meter stick, whatever you want to call it. And I'm just going to lay it up here. Oops, right there so it doesn't fall. But then I know that the shelf has to be lined up just below that. And then I'm going to just grab my tape measure. And I'm using painter's tape. I find it the best product when I'm doing this type of stuff. I just kind of want to measure how much room I have between the wall and the TV. And it looks like it's 5 feet, or just under 5 feet. I don't need exact measurements, so that tells me if I'm doing about 5, then my center is 2.5 feet. I just gotta right there at the 30. About there. So I'm just going to take a little piece of this painter's tape and I'm just going to mark that. So I kind of know where the center of the wall is approximately. And then this shelf. Okay, just going to quickly measure the shelf. It's 2 feet. So go to 2 feet. So the center of the 2 feet is 1 foot. So that kind of tells me, okay, where the shelf is going to go. So I now know how much room there's going to be between everything. So that's going to work perfect. So now all I have to do is get my little bit of painter's tape to be level with this. There. Just going to move this straight across like this. And so I got to move this there. So now I know where the center is. But to do the next one, because the hooks for this are actually just below where the shelf is. So I'm just going to come off of here. I just got to move things around. Okay, first I just got my little scraper tool here. I'm just going to remove these price tags. So that was pretty easy to come off. It's always hard to know how easy these are going to come off. But it was normally 50, you know, we got it for 20, but it had been reduced, let's see, once before. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this one off to see. I don't think, no, it's not going to let me see what it was before. I can't get that off. I think they had it reduced to 36. Or 20. I don't know, I can't tell if that would be a 5 or a 6, and then I can't quite get these ones apart to tell. Well, I think they might have had it reduced from 50 down to like 35 or 36, but then it was marked down to another 20. Okay, so to hang these up, I found this trick a long time ago using the painter's tape. So I'm just gonna right across here. And grab my pen and mark for, oops, it's gotta be up. There. Okay. See, I just trace over the shape of the hole. So it's that round, but then it has the other part of the top. Like that. So I get those little symbols. And my husband can even, figure out if that's, how he wants it to be. And then I just have to measure from this shelf down. It looks like I just need like 2 finger spaces down. So I'll just put this tape 2 finger spaces down from the center of that tape, and this one will be figured out. And then I just got to move some furniture to get over into the other corner, and I'll be back to do the other floating shelves. So I put the tape on all of these, and I tried to use the pen, but I just thought the Sharpie just worked a lot better. Just made it so much faster if I wasn't filming doing this, because it did take a while to do that. So I'm going to start with them over on this wall of my living room. So oops, set my tripod down. So this is the wall between the window and the corner. Just gonna measure to see how much room I'm working with over here. So got about 42 inches. Which is the exact same amount of space I had on the other wall between the TV and the corner. So, excuse me. Okay, I'm just going to grab the other ruler. Same thing. I want the shelf to kind of line up with the height of this other shelf. So it would be, get this to go. It's got to be about there. Oops, and I'm where I need to measure. It's above where my camera is. Can I get this to angle? There we go. So again, I just took this ruler and laid it on top of this shelf, and then I kind of want like the height of this shelf to be there. Nice to figure out. Although I think for this one, I might actually like this to be a little higher, because I got to put these 3 floating shelves. So maybe there. And I'm just going to find the center here. 21 was the center. Right there. Just gonna take this tape off. So I got it about here. I will recenter this in a second, but I think that's kind of where I wanted the shelf. And make sure that that is 21 is there. Just gonna give myself a little fold in this tape so I kind of know where the center is. Get that little fold on the 21. About there. Like I said, I am not doing this level. When my husband goes to do this, he'll actually use the leveler and make sure that it is level, but you can see I don't quite have it perfectly straight. But I'm just trying to get an idea of where I think I'd like the shelves to go. And now I'm going to do the largest one. I think I want it about here. And of course, when I did that, the tape all wound in on itself. Same thing, I'm just going to fold this, get the screw marks kind of lined up so I get a little point. So I kind of know where the center is. Right here. There, and then I'm going to measure the distance between here and here, and so the shelf will be halfway between these two. I'm going to try to angle my camera. Oh. So I got this tape here, and the tape is just a little bit above. So I'm just measuring from the bottom of that tape to the top of this tape gives me 30. So I'm going to mark this one to be at the 15. And then my husband can just, I can step back from this and my husband can kind of make sure I've got it a little even, but it kind of gives me an idea of where I think I want the shelves to be. And then my husband can hold the shelf and I can go stand over there and see if that's really how I want the shelves. Like right now I'm just getting them all lined up. I may decide to stagger them later. But I just want to know where they will kind of fit. Okay. And I can tell that my tape is crooked on the wall, but I'm trying to do this by myself, and sometimes that's a little tricky, but you see. Just gotta find where the 15 is. The 15 is here. And I don't even see where my about there. that. So on this wall, I've got kind of lined up where I think those will. And then I'll do the next set. I'm going to do in the front entrance. I kind of already figured out I've got about 50 inches down. So I'm going to start the bottom and I work my way up. This one's going to be tricky. I'm trying to see how far down I want the shelf. I think I like it about here. I'm going to say I don't like this painter's tape from the dollar store, but it's okay. I think I want it about here. Then I gotta grab the other two shelves. About here. Because I kind of already had this one. There's some little marks on this wall. And I think I want it here, so I gotta move this one down. Once I'm standing up here, I can see where I initially decided they were gonna go. Yeah, this one's gonna move down just a little bit more. And I will get my ruler and make sure these are level or, you know, like centered. Yeah. So this one, they kind of look like that. Like I said, they're not perfectly centered, but I will do that in a minute. I just kind of want to get this done. It's taking a little longer than expected. Oops. Now I can do the two sets in this room. So it's going to take a little longer to get these ones done. Just gotta move. Just gotta move the cat food out of my way. Right, this is going to be the trickier one between my kitchen here, because I'm going to put two sets up, and so we're going to stagger them. So we're going to have small, medium, large on this side, and then it's going to go large, medium, small on the other side. So we're going to alternate these. So I'm going to start over on this side. I'm trying to angle my tripod. It's kind of hard to see. The large one right here. The large one, like I said, I'm just trying to get this like this, and I can do some measurements. Like I said, this one's tricky because then the other side has to have the small. The small has to be centered. just want to get this kind of lined up here, and then I can do the measuring of everything. And I've got my cat here. She's going to make it very hard for me. Like I said, just by getting the green tape here, it just helps me figure out where the stuff is going. I'm standing where she was sleeping, so I had to move her so she does not like this. Baby kitty, what are you doing? Just don't want her to walk over and knock over the tripod. And like I said, my husband can double check that my lines, these are straight, but I just want to get kind of lined up so I kind of know how things are going to go. Although we said we wanted this one to be lined up with the curtain. And I don't think that's going to work. I think we got to make this one a little higher than the curtain rod. This has to be like that. So you can kind of see I've kind of got my tape measured here on this wall. So I'm just going to get down and take a step back and see how I like it. Okay, so that's what it looks like. I'm going to have to, I think the middle ones are perfect. I think I'm going to have to lower the bottom one. I can see I've got one kind of a lot higher than the other one. But I'm just trying to get like an idea from when I'm standing back here if I like it or not. Also want to know how much room I want to give myself on the top shelves to be able to display things. At the same time with the bottom shelves, that anybody getting to sit down at the table is not going to bang their head on a shelf. But we don't really use the back chairs. We'll be pulling it table out when we've got company. So I'm just going to measure that, put those tape kind of a lot straighter. Although I am surprised at how, straight they kind of are for how like I was, standing kind of crooked between the two chairs. And then this one too. I did fix these ones to get the measurements a little bit better. And same with over here. These ones were falling down on me, so I had to use a few extra pieces of tape to hold them up. And so I'm going to leave that like that for now. Like I said, I'm going to straighten those bottom ones because they're just really crooked. You can tell, especially the one on the left, you can see that the bottom shelf is too far to the left. But I'm just going to do a quick little measure. Pretty much just going to leave it like that. And then when my husband gets home, either tonight after work or tomorrow after work, I don't know, the next day or two, he can, put the shelves up for me and my shelves will be done. So I'll be back when the shelves are actually installed. So it's about 8 in the morning, Wednesday morning. So my husband got the floating shelves up for me last night. So I'm not quite sure what to put on them yet. He didn't like the anchors that came with them. And he kind of used some of our anchors that we had. And he said if they fall, he'll reinforce them a little bit better. He just, these white floating shelves. Then there's this one, and he misjudged the hole. And so he's got a putty and then re-drill for the small shelf, but he said he will fix that in the next day or two. So, like I said, I'm not quite sure how to style the shelves yet. But at least they're hung up, so that's nice. And when I take down all this extra decor and stuff that's here, I will spread it around on these shelves. But it's just good to have the shelves now up. And then he will put the clock up tonight. It was just like about midnight when he was just finishing. It just took him like so long to drill the holes, and then he had to, like I said, that one shelf, he's got to fix that hole. But I said what I wanted to do is have the clock centered with the center shelf of this one. And it was just kind of hard for me to try to figure out where it's going to sit by myself when I don't really have the shelves up. But now that the shelf is up, so like I said, tonight when he gets home after work, we'll put the clock up. So it's just good to have that shelf. The next thing is, I love this shelf up here. So my husband is going to put some more of these shelves in the bedroom for me. Just have to figure out where I want them. He also put shelves like these, the brown shelf. He put some of them upstairs in our daughter's bedroom for all her books and everything too. So if you have a house like this, it's like we've never done shelves. So our previous place didn't have walls that didn't have windows on them. So this house has no storage, but we've got walls so we can add open shelves. Now I do say sometimes open shelves do make it look cluttered. Like I will say that top shelf is pretty cluttered at the moment, but I still have Christmas decor out that I thought was kind of more, not really so much Christmas, just more winter. And I just didn't have anywhere to put that stuff at the moment. So they just kind of got left up there. Like I said, so I'll be working on that the next few weeks. Same with like here, all this extra stuff along here. I've got to find places to put it. Most of this stuff all plugs in. So, but the shelves are up. Okay, so shelves are up, ready to get styled. So I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's subscribing to my channels and watching my videos, and I will see you in the next ones. Bye.